I'd just like to thank MLA for inviting me to speak today. I said yes to David when he asked me to speak, and then he asked me to speak about being disruptive. The only person that ever really called me disruptive was teachers for 13 years at school, and certainly it was quite a shock to get asked to speak on this topic. What I was asked to speak about today was multi-breed EBVs or ASBVs in the sheep world. I think the second thing I said, well, that's not disruptive. In the lamb industry, we've been able to compare sheep in single databases since 2000. And I've led to believe through my beef friends in 2018, beef you still can't compare across breeds. So I suppose that's really what I'm here to speak about, is my experience in lamb and the experience of the prime lamb industry, and certainly where I see the opportunities. We sell rams, we're a 100% seed stock business. We're a little bit different. 90% of the rams we sell are hybrid. We're probably very non-traditional. The other thing we do a bit differently, our average ram sold is 5 months of age. So today we're AIing ewes. To put into context, they'll go in our ram sale first week of November. So to be a beef producer and if someone breeds a bull today, to tell they're going to sell that bull in 2021 makes me very impatient. I think certainly in doing what we've done, I'm not a stud person. I don't like the stud people. I'm not a big breed society person. I believe in brands, not breeds. As a young person, I used to get very excited about breed societies and put up a lot of suggestions, and then all of a sudden I thought that's just dead energy, trying to bring forward 1,000 producers who believe the role of a breed society is protect change. So really, we just went about building our business, building it on performance, not breeds, and really doing it the way we thought we should do it. Our rams are sold, at the core of our business is performance, and our last sale, which we sold 1,000 5-month-old rams, which is the largest sale in the country, was also one of the top averages in the country and was the top grossing sale in history. But the thing was exciting, it was double the second one. So the thing we're learning very quickly is the demographic is changing. The baby boomers in our area, their lifelong goal was to run the best Hereford herd in the country, the best merino flock in the country. We sell to a demographic who want to make 8 to 10% return on capital. And once producers have that change in philosophy, what they buy and how they react changes a lot. The thing I love about selling rams at 5 months of age, when I get a new client who comes along and they think they're a bit of a stockman and really understand their sheep, and I let them rip and I go, you pick out the best rams and you'll give me those 20 are the best. The first thing I said, just pick, which one don't you like? And he said, that little one there. I said, buddy, all you've done is picked out the singles and showed me which one's the triplet. One of the best things of selling 5 months of rams at 5 months of age, environment plays a massive impact. So in a nutshell, it's nearly impossible to look at a young ram and get a feel for how it's going to perform, because what you see is pretty much going to tell you what date of birth, what's its date of birth, and whether its mum was a 2, 3, 4, 5-year-old or 6-year-old, or whether it's a single, twin or triplet. So the best thing we did by selling young rams, we took all that out. The other thing we do, we sell a ram every 18 seconds in our sale. So what it means is people need to do their homework. They get their spreadsheets, they cut it up, and they actually work out the figures, because you can't see a ram, see its figures in 18 seconds. So it has changed. We have got a lot of young clients, a lot of corporate clients, but our business is on its goal in 2 years' time to producing 1 million lambs by our rams. So we are having an impact. The thing in the south, I don't know if you're lucky or not in the north, we get a lot of land use competition. Beef, lamb, cropping, lifestyle, it is a competition for land, as it is in New Zealand and many parts of the world. Industries or species that don't get their act together get taken over. Fences get ripped out, wool sheds get taken down, cattle yards get burnt. In the south, it is a red hot competition. The Zennials, the Gen Ys, they don't really care as much whether they grow canola or beef. They care about money. They want to make money. And I think that's really starting to drive competition in the south, is objective data, financial data, and actually making enterprise change and breeding change based on that data, not gut feel or not what mum and dad did. I always look at it that my job as a stud producer, I'm a designer. And I've always tempted to grow myself a man bun just to really reflect that. Sorry if there's anyone got a man bun in the room. I think we're in Queensland, we're pretty safe. But really, we design sheep. The best thing we did when smart blokes like Rob Banks, Alec Ball, Richard Apps set up Land Plan, they did it without breed societies. MLA had total control. And what that did allowed us, and since 2000, the year Kathy Freeman won the 400, we've been able to compare animals. I can compare 30 terminal sire breeds with a single set of numbers. My breeding decisions aren't made on breeds, they're made on EBVs. And that's driven new product development. We're always coming out with new genetic products based on markets, based on trends, and with multiple breeds. You see this ram and you look at its breed composition, 28% white Suffolk, 21% Cootworth. You know, it is really quite a diverse animal. But our objective in our maternals is to produce a +9 weaning weight, below 13 ewe weight, positive fat, +2 for muscle, 18 number of lambs weaned, -50 for worms, positive for wool weight, negative for micron. I don't care what's in them. And actually, the only interesting thing, I don't think I've ever done this, worked out what's in my sheep. I get asked plenty of times what's in this is our prime line maternal, this is one of our brands. The exciting thing about our brand now, if you go to Auctions Plus, we've got and the drop downs, we've actually got prime line maternal as a brand. So percentages mean nothing. This is another one. We've got a quite large terminal operation. Our current terminals had a heap of growth, heap of muscle, but what we did find through the sheep CRC, they didn't have a lot of marbling. By infusing Southdown into our Dorsets within 2 years, we're the #1 ranked ram in the country for marbling. So when we were enabled to do that because we knew the difference between marbling in Dorsets, Southdowns and white Suffolks, and we can act on that. So why is lamb different to beef? Land Plan is controlled by MLA, not breed societies. I'm disgusted. The other day I had to pay $220 to the Hampshire Association. I'm told from my friends Tom and Lucinda that's not a lot of money. For me it is. And I think it's a really important thing that our cost is a lot different. The biggest thing, sheep are white, fluffy animals. And that's it. Coat colour is the biggest Achilles heel. You know, we're lucky, they're all white. Some are black, you know, but it is the biggest Achilles heel of the beef industry is coat colour. Once we made them white, they're all white, we didn't care. But it is something you've got to get over, is the whole coat colour thing. What's it done to the breed societies? All of a sudden, the breed societies have happened to open their book, because if they didn't, they wouldn't have had a membership. So the white Suffolk has got huge amounts of Poll Dorset infused in it, and so do the Poll Dorsets. And I think it's driven transparency in purchasing decisions. Breeds are compared, and we have people come to our auctions or sales, and they'll buy rams from 3 different breeding programs because the EBVs are right. They don't come saying, I'm going to get a tradie. They come because they want an 18 for growth or 2 for muscle, and they'll go and find it. In 2017, 100 out of the top 100 maternal animals in the maternal database are composites. So there's a lot of other people a lot smarter than me doing it as well. And it becomes an exact science. When we started, we'd always use generic benefits on breed. You want fertility, you infuse a fin. You want milk, you infuse a Friesian. We just hoped that would happen. There was no common data to actually make good financial decisions on how much fertility will they add. Most of the time, these infusions of this and that were actually taking us backwards. The language barrier. I'm not going to lie. The beef industry is talking about mapping the genome the breed of the beef industry. But yet in 2018, and as someone who now owns 41 cows, so I had some silage I need to eat that had barley grass in it. You actually, at home they say, cattle for show, sheep for dough. Anyway, I'll probably say that in the wrong spot. Sorry, Lucinda and Tom and all my southern counterparts. But at the end of the day, you still can't compare it. It really frustrates me, and I just listen as a side, that all these technologies in beef, but if you want to make a decision between Angus and Herefords, you still haven't got the data to do it. If you're making a tropical composite and you want to see how much percentage increase a centre pole will have over a Brahman, the data's not there. So as a designer in the beef industry, I reckon life would be bloody hard. It'd be based on a lot of gut feel, and particularly the biggest issue, the biggest things that we've picked up from having mouldy breeds is fertility. We've been able to bring a lot of sheep that have had a lot of fertility and made massive gains. In the last 10 years, we've increased our lamb weaning genetically by 12%, which is a lot of tails at lamb marking. The other thing is, if you really want to get genetic gain in breed societies, my view is put them in the same language. The white suffix and the Dorsets are going head for head all the time. The mainstream breeds, and all of a sudden the Dorsets weren't letting any white suffix in. They saw all of a sudden the white suffix getting a kick on, and that's all, now it's open slather. So we're not talking rocket science. There's been some pretty heavy stuff here this morning. We're talking about simple technologies to actually allow beef breeders, southern, northern, eastern, western, to compare cattle from multi-breeds. And that'll open your eyes to the whole range of cattle that you mightn't already be looking at. How's it going to change? Producers are going to have to change it. I think you're in a good position here. You've got plenty of MLA people, plenty of board members. If you want it, you've got a demand for it. I'll give you a tip. As a lamb producer, I'd be scared if beef got multi-breed. I think gains would really increase. You might take a few of my acres in the south, the ones that the cropping blokes haven't. So breed societies, they've got to get on board, in my view. If they don't, you've got to ask, what have they got to hide? Common language, single EBVs, you can compare marbling, you can compare growth, but there will need to be an R&D. Particularly for fertility traits, hybrid vigour can be a pretty messy thing. So there is going to be a huge amount of technical research and development that will need to occur. Once you get that right, you cook with gas. You can really look north, south, across huge amounts of animals and make some gains. Message. The design of seed stock, whether it's almonds, cattle, beef, is extremely important. I always use the rugby example, where I see the beef industry is sitting here at the moment saying every best rugby player is in Queensland. As a sheep producer, I say they're all over the world. If we want the best 15, we're going to pick a few out of New Zealand, a few out of Ireland, a few Fijians on the wing. So, and I think that's the attitude you've got to have. The beef industry is still sitting here saying every rugby player is within this state. Lamb, we're looking all over the world. And I'm hoping, we'll start to pin beef back in the south. I'm a competitive person. Common language is the backbone. Thank you.